So I'm watching this beautiful sunset on the beach, and I wanted to give you guys a collective reading. And as soon as I just said that, a few cards fell out, so we'll see what they are. We have the Five of Hearts on the bottom of the deck, which I feel like it means open your heart to this message. If you're at all feeling called to hear what might come through the channel of me in the channel of this place right now, maybe there's something here for you. What do we have? Oh my God. Whoa, that is so intense. Okay. If you want to be the CEO of your life, like the master of what you really fucking care about, that's what this is. Then you need to be of service with it. This is philanthropy. This is the very top of the realm of values, of giving value and receiving value. King of Diamonds makes that freaking money. But it has to go through Ace, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, Jack, Queen, King, and the Queen of Diamonds who holds the King of Diamonds. She's moon to him. She's the card of service through action. If he's the master of action, the last step before mastering action, and thus maybe like most important cumulative step to get to this one, is philanthropy. This is Jerry Garcia's card. Think of how many people he took care of and was in service of through the way that he used his body to physically bring value to the world and to his people. We love this card. My inner child plus my boyfriend's inner child makes this our inner child connection. So that was the first thing that came through. If you want to be a King of Diamonds, you got to make sure that you're Queen of Diamonds, like why you should receive money or value for what you're putting out. How is that being of service? And are you certain of the value that you're adding? And how can you allow more flow? Okay, how can you allow more flow? Because the Divine Feminine is about like receiving the inspiration, and my partner and I were just talking about this. You have to receive value from the world around you in order to put value out. And so it's almost like, yeah, if you want to be of service, you allow yourself to fill up so that you can pour out. And you know, you can only pour out as much as you can receive in. So even if you're a person who, it's like raining in this, it's so nice. Even if you're a person who wants to give, but doesn't know how to receive as much, I might be a little in that. So this message is for me too. The more that you can allow yourself to receive, the more you're gonna be able to give. And that is what's going to allow you to become the successful entrepreneur that you want to be, or, you know, this really competent leader that you know you are and that you know that you can be. But is it rooted in service? Is it rooted in you receiving first, filling up your cup so that you can pour from it? I'm gonna beat that dead horse because I know that we can all get better at that. Those of us who really want to help the world with what we have to be of service with often struggle with allowing ourselves to receive the same kind of energy that we make sure others receive from us. Man, isn't that crazy, the conundrum? So, okay, and now I'm gonna cry because the card that came out with them, this is actually really karmically connected to this card, and I'll talk about it in a second. So I loved that they came out together. But this is the card of faith. This is the most spiritual card of all. And I'm gonna cry because it's like life is going to tempt you in ways of heart, in ways of mind, in ways of body, in ways of soul. You understand the emotional temptations of love and sexuality. You understand the mental temptations of judgment and depression and victimization and anxiety. You understand the physical temptations of food and not getting enough sleep, drinking too much coffee, what have you, spending too much money. And you understand the spiritual temptations of, well, this is the most amorphous one, but it's like not having faith in yourself, in life, in God, in humanity. I think of, spiritual temptation as almost apathy, to turn off your spirit, your soul. And we are constantly tempted by life. And honestly, the bigger of a soul and spirit you have or whatever, the bigger the temptations that you're going to face in that way. But our ability to make it through those moments that test our faith so hard, that's what makes us end up having more faith in ourselves, right? In our journey, right? The more times you jump and the more times you're held. Like my favorite Terence McKenna quote says something about, that's what all of the gurus of ages knew. You jump into the abyss and find that it is a feather bed. How jumping into the unknown is just, it's going to serve you because you know there's something better for you on the other side of something that isn't serving you. Lizard. So this card is about getting back up and trying again, allowing each time that you fail to be an opening for your next win. I didn't really say that right. But it was because I distracted myself, because as I said fail, it came through like, it's not even I don't want to say a fail because we think of a fail as like some specific failure times in our life. I want to say in those moments when you're losing faith, I started getting southern right then, in those moments that you are losing faith, when you come through that, you have more faith than you went into that with. The 7 is the bridge between the lower and the higher. It's how do I get from this place of feeling like everything is lost to a place where I know everything's going to be okay? And how have I done that so many times in my life? And how will I continue to do that more and more every day? How can I generate those neural pathways to convince myself of that? And this is like having faith that you'll always be okay in heart, in mind, and body, and soul. The spades are the suit of all suits. So the 7 of spades is the 7 all sevens, the temptation of all temptations, the spiritual temptation to not have faith. And through undergoing that, thus becoming someone with even greater faith and being on that constant path to evolution. There's always another bridge to cross. There's always more faith to have in the magic of your own life and of your own journey and the glory of your own self, because we all have insecurities and we all, make mistakes and we all miss opportunities, and we might say we have no regrets, but and to an extent I really feel that way about myself, but also there's sometimes where we imagine the timelines of if we had done things differently, and just having faith that you're on the right one, that the decisions you've made have been right, and that you will continue to make the right decisions. And when you don't, you will learn from them, but it will have been right so that you could learn from it, etc. I came up with something the other day, and I just want to cry because it just feels so good to just bring something through for someone who didn't ask for it, and then someone who I don't know who is going to receive this. But I've been saying the other day, I've been thinking since I think yesterday, this came through, wow, beautiful flock of birds flying above. I'm never going to be able to get the phone to perch here again. Oh God. Oh, I did. Okay, great. Thank you, God. That faith, baby. Even in those little moments where we have these little micro expressions of not trusting ourselves or not having faith in our own ability to do something, look how disempowering that was, and then untrue it was. And yes, I'm keeping my half face off screen on purpose for it. I'm going to try to finish this up. I was trying to get out that for the past little bit, I have been thinking a lot about how, saying everything happens for a reason can be really triggering for people. And I'm sorry if anybody is triggered by me saying that, but I'm trying to muse upon it and say that I am a recovering person who always said that. And I realize how dismissive it can feel. I felt some sort of justification in being able to say it because I went through cancer, and I do feel like that happened to me for a reason and made me a way better person in so many ways. That being said, it's just there's so many senseless things that happen all the time, that why would we say everything happens for a reason? And so I just want to start saying that many things happen for a reason. Maybe even not say most. maybe say most. But many things do happen for a reason, and you can find the light behind the rain. R.I.P. to my bestie, Josh. There's a light behind the rain. Hey. So, what I'm getting here, like the reason that this came out after these two, they were in that order. I want to sum it up and say all of us deserve to be the king of our own kingdom of life. Taking away the masculine or feminine sense of this. It's just like, you deserve to get to be a master of what you care about in your life. You deserve to get to live a life that you've purposefully and intentionally curated and built for yourself, of your domain, of what you care about, however it is that you express that. Maybe you have your like home gym / shed / mudroom combination that makes you feel really happy with who you are. But like creating that sense of, this is my domain. I was thinking of my dad as I said that. I'm like, he just like has his little spots, and like he cares about his domain that he exists in, and he rules it in his own way, and he rules it well. And that's what each of us have the opportunity to do in this life, is like create the kingdom that we want to be the ruler of, and not in this like controlling way, but in this empowering way. Hopefully not trying to control other people, but just being in control of our own value that we give from our world, and that we get from our world and give to our world. And in order to do that, let's focus on how we can serve those around us, and how we can be more receptive to everything that surrounds us that's trying to give us value. Because I find that if I just walk down the street and I open my eyes instead of look at my phone, I see like 20 different fun things that I never would have seen if I hadn't just made the conscious effort to be observant. So this is like, if you receive more, you'll give more. You'll be able to align more with creating that domain of your life. If you allow yourself to open your eyes and see what you receive. See how the universe speaks to you. For me, it's through numbers and through nature, and through like babies when they look at me, and through books. And I don't know, each of us have a different way that we receive value from the world. So thus each of us are this really particular channel of, this is what I receive, and then here's how I give what I receive. And so when you figure out your specific way of doing that and how to be of service with it, that is what's naturally going to make this happen. And all of that said is to 13 minutes on the timestamp, so that you have more faith. Okay. Because I need you, actually, what I meant is that you will have more opportunity for this when you have faith that this is going to happen. Have faith that the more receptive you are to the beauty that is around you, the more of it you will receive and naturally transmute and be a channel of. And that the glory of your legacy as you live it and as it will remain on past you is like so based in this service. But the universe, it's like you were brought here partially to receive love and to be a channel of love. If we are all pieces of God, and I've also been thinking a lot about like, how could we talk to each person that we encounter, even if we don't like them or whatever? How can we address them as if they're God? And I guess this is like, have faith in the God in you, and that it will find its way to be expressed. And have faith in the God in other people that it will too. And I hope some really good messages came through in that. If you have faith in it, it will surely happen. And the more you have faith, the more things that happen, and the more faith you will have. This just came out and is the Jack of Diamonds, which precedes the Queen and King, of course, and just wants us to have fun. He wants us to remember that having fun with the value that you add is then where you find what you want to be of service doing. That's part of Ikigai, right? the best thing we could possibly be doing in this life that helps people live beyond 100 years old is finding that perfect crux of what you're good at, what the world needs, what will make you money, and what you like. So Jack of Diamonds is like, find what you like, what you're going to be so interested in, then how you can be of service with that, and that will allow you to really love the life you live and feel like in control of the way that you give value to the world and the way that then you receive more value to the world. It is a never-ending feedback loop. Have faith that that can happen for you. Something else, the 8 of Spades jumped out, and I don't have it up anymore, but the continuation of that card of faith, 7 of Spades, is the card of like working really hard and focusing all your power. Now that you have the faith in your heart and mind and body and soul, the 8 of Spades asks you to actually put the pedal to the metal and apply your heart, mind, body, and soul, each and all, furiously, undeterrably, just like putting your power into motion so that you can bring your manifestations to the greatest fruition. Like all pieces of you gotta be in it, is what I'm hearing, right? You can't have your heart and mind and spirit on board, but your body's not like working out enough to sustain your dreams that you're trying to get through all those other channels. So, wow, these are my mom's 2 cards and they just came out. I talked about my dad, so I guess my mom's coming through too. My mom just turned 60 the other day. That was these 2 cards on 11/27. And these are the cards of emotional balance and mental focus. And this is coming through because, as my developer just showed me on my app today, the 8 of Clubs is Jupiter to the 6 of Hearts, because it goes 6, 4, 2, Jack, 8. 4 is Jupiter. And so this means that the focus of the mind literally expands the balance of the heart. The more you focus your mind and your mental power on the art that you want to create, the more that your heart is going to feel karmically like, yes, I'm taken care of. And I feel like people have liked to speak about this, right? I think my friend Julia Muse said something about this. It's, you know, when you don't express yourself creatively, it's going to get stuck in there and it's not going to feel great. It's going to lead to emotional imbalance. And so we want to allow our art to flourish, to come through us, allow ourselves to be of service with it, and that will bring us to a more balanced place emotionally and in our hearts. And holding up the bottom of the deck right now is the King of Clubs, the mastermind. Only you have the power to master your mind. And so funny, I was talking about Julia and then her card came up. Mastermind is like, you have the opportunity to, and everything that you need to be able to master your own mind. And the most important thing is knowing that. If, say that you have all the tools in the toolbox necessary and the universe was like giggling about it, they're like, oh my God, he has everything he needs to master his own mind except his own knowledge of how true that is. Except for his own knowledge that he is the master of his mind and that he can master his mind. That's the only thing standing in his way. I feel like I've touched on so many things that have already been at the forefront of my thoughts and my conversations today. And I just want to say I appreciate anybody who has watched this far. I really hope you just gleaned some things from it, whether or not you are a person who ever partakes in or receives readings. Oh my God, it all of a sudden got like really dark and stormy over here. Time to go. I hope that this something, little tidbit or more than one, came through and touched you somewhere, even if you don't know where or how or why. I hope it gave you a little taste of, yes, what I can do, and yes, what like cards can do, but just in general, channeling of energy can do, and opening your channel to being a channel of energy can do. Because if you're watching this, then I was channeling it for you. Bye now.